Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Leeds. Today we're breaking down the latest box office news and movie news from around the industry. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. You can check them out today at poddex.com and use promo code Larry21 for 10% off your first purchase. And Audible. For a free 30-day trial, go to audibletrial.com/Larry21. And you'll also receive a free audiobook of your choice. So our first topic, Halloween Kills earns the best horror opening of the pandemic. Universal's Blumhouse Miramax Halloween Kills destroyed the box office competition this weekend, earning $50.3 million. In addition, the 12th installment in the long-running franchise scored the best horror opening of the pandemic, besting Paramount's A Quiet Place Part 2 at $47.5 million, while also gaining the best opening for an R-rated movie of the pandemic. The previous R-rated record holder was Warner Brothers HBO Max's The Suicide Squad with $26.2 million. Halloween Kills is currently streaming on Peacock for viewers who aren't quite ready to venture out to a movie theater just yet. Reactions to the long-awaited sequel have been mixed from both reviewers and critics, with many praising the creative kills, references to past installments, and performances from the cast. Critics and viewers have pointed to screenplay that lacks in originality for its downfall. As for horror fans who loved Halloween Kills, they have the direct sequel to look forward to, Halloween Ends, which is scheduled to hit theaters on October 14th, 2022. No Time to Die fell to number 2 this weekend after bringing in $24.2 million. To date, the latest installment in the long-running Bond franchise has earned $447 million globally. No Time to Die marks the last time that Daniel Craig will portray James Bond on the big screen. Venom: Let There Be Carnage took the third position with $16.5 million. The sequel has earned $283.6 million globally since opening in theaters 3 weeks ago. Pretty much thanks to Marvel fans and word-of-mouth advertising, it appears it will continue to be a monster in the box office in the weeks to come. Addams Family 2 came in at number 4 this weekend with $7.1 million. The animated family sequel has received generally negative reviews from critics who criticize the humor and story. The cast includes Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron, Nick Kroll, Jason Holton, Wallace Shawn, Snoop Dogg, Bette Midler, and Bill Hader. The Last Duel debuted at number 5 this weekend with $4.8 million. The historical drama has received praise from critics and viewers, starring Matt Damon and Adam Driver. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings fell to number 6 with $3.5 million, bringing the global total to $405 million. Free Guy fell to number 7 this weekend after bringing in just $680,000. As of this episode, the movie has earned $323 million globally since debuting 10 weeks ago. Lamb earned $540K, which was enough to take the 8th spot this weekend, while Candyman took the 9th spot with $460K. The horror movie has earned $77 million globally since debuting in theaters 8 weeks ago. Finally, Dear Evan Hansen took the 10th spot with $410K. If you want more information on the box office numbers, check them out at thenumbers.com. And now, our second topic is all about Michael Caine's retirement rumors. Michael Caine took to social media to better elaborate on comments he made during a BBC podcast that he was no longer an actor. On Friday, in an interview in which Michael Caine described his latest movie Bestsellers as being his last role, had many believing that the 88-year-old could be about to retire from acting for good. He did cite a combination of the COVID pandemic, a back condition, and a general lack of movies being made that he wants to be a part of. He later clarified that he is definitely not retiring from acting, and even posted so on his Twitter account using one of the lines that has often been associated with him by many comedy impersonators over the years, saying, quote, "I've retired, and not a lot of people know that." I haven't retired, and not a lot of people know that. The original idea that the star of movies such as Alfie, The Italian Job, The Dark Knight, and many more was perhaps done with acting came from a podcast on the Kermode and Mayo's film review podcast for the BBC, in which he commented that his latest movie has turned out to be my last part, really. When asked if he was being serious about that, the legendary actor replied, "I think it would be my last picture, yeah. There haven't been any offers, honestly, for 2 years, because nobody's been making any movies I want to do. Also, I'm 88. There's not exactly scripts pouring out with a leading man that's 88, However, he decided to clear up the misconception that he would never act again and was retiring from acting for good. In a statement, he said, quote, regarding retirement, I've spent over 50 years getting up at 6 a.m. to make movies, and I'm not getting rid of my alarm clock. He then followed it up with his Twitter post to back up the sentiment, which quickly went viral. Of course, this will be great news for fans of Caine, who has been entertaining audiences in every kind of film genre since he started out in the business in the 1950s. With TV roles including parts in Dixon of Dock Green, Escape, and the Caine Mutiny Court-Martial, before making his break into movies in the 1960s in films such as Zulu and Alfie, which set him on the path to become one of the longest-serving and most beloved actors in Hollywood. While it seems that Caine believes that there haven't been as many opportunities coming his way, the same could be said of Clint Eastwood a decade ago when he announced his retirement from acting, and that turned out to be only a temporary thing. There seems to be no reason why we won't see Caine back on screens in some capacity in the future, and he certainly isn't ready to completely turn his back on acting yet. We should see him back in movie theaters soon enough. And our final topic, Pennyworth has been renewed for season 3 and will be going right to HBO Max. HBO Max has announced that the prequel drama series Pennyworth, starring the butler of Batman, has been renewed for the 3rd season and will be arriving on the streaming service, along with the first 2 seasons in 2022. First announced during DC Fandom, the series takes place in the 1960s and follows Alfred Pennyworth, played by Jack Bannon, who works as a security for a young billionaire known as Thomas Wayne, played by Ben Aldridge. The season begins after a 5-year time jump, and with the Civil War at an end, a new cultural revolution has begun to sweep through the world. This wave of revolution has changed the world for better and worse, with a new age of superheroes and supervillains rising in its wake. The series debuted in 2019 with its first 2 seasons, airing on Epix after the 2nd season wrapped in April 2021. Reports started to circulate about negotiations between the series producers and Epix for a move from the streaming service to HBO Max. The announcement confirms these reports as the series will be joining other DC properties such as Doom Patrol, Harley Quinn, and Young Justice, as well as the upcoming spin-off series Peacemaker. Pennyworth Season 3 will premiere sometime in 2022 on HBO Max. And as always, if you want to support the show, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/cinemagold or buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. And now for our favorite segment, featuring the Poddex Film Night. We pull out a card from them, or in this case, virtual card. It's on their app. And then you go through. For today's question is, what's the first movie you remember seeing in a movie theater? That is tough. Let's see. Off the top of my head, and I say this because Movie Lovers United reminded me of this, but I'm gonna go with Spy Kids. It's probably not the first one, but it's an early one I remember watching in theaters. So the question for you, what's the first movie you remember seeing in a movie theater? Leave it in the comments section below, and Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. When you subscribe, you can enter into a contest to win a prize from Poddex. You can check them out at poddex.com. If you're interested in their stuff, don't forget to use the promo code Larry21. You can save 10% off your purchase. Check them out today. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.